All right. What is going on, chat? What up, what up? Let me turn this down a little bit here. There we go. What is up, chat? Let's go over to the desk. The rebrand of the channel, of the shopping experience. Super excited to show it off. Do some catch up from last week. Pretty crazy week last week. And give you guys a claim code here. Just make sure I got the right one. New year, new me, chat. Hopefully you guys are having a good Monday. Let me just get this claim code up and running, and we will be ready to rock. So that should be the correct one. Let me just make sure that I have the right code. And we should be good. Man, Square has 15 different portals that you gotta check. Let's see. So that is set there. Good thing I checked, chat. It didn't work. You guys need your 5%. I almost conned you. So let me just get this set up, and we should be good to go here. So we are going to, so this will end in 2 days, chat. This will end in 2 days, so the 27th, this code will end. But it is good throughout the entire stream as well as the next 48 hours. Boom. There we go. I'll put that right on top here. So GGTCG-5 for 5% off at checkout. Perfect. All right, that should be good. It is active. So what is going on, chat? I'm now able to read chat. Yeah, it's actually 110%, Cam. I'm just doing a fire sale. I'm getting out of the hobby. But we got a lot of really good stuff on the coming up here. Because now I can offer claims for stuff that isn't on the store quite yet, which is really exciting. I decided to do that specifically for cards that were marked as light play or worse condition, because I think one of the things that tends to get a little difficult to show off is, like, especially with scanning. I know I've done scans in past streams, but sometimes it's really difficult to even see kind of some of the little damage that a light play or moderately play card has on a 2D scan. So what's nice is that I can kind of offer some light play, moderate play, and kind of show them in person, and then you guys can claim them as we go. Apple, what's going on? So yeah, so we have a lot to go through. So I'll just kind of go over what I plan on doing for tonight. So this stream is going to be going from 8 to about 10 for the claims, and I'm pretty much just going to be doing Q&A and cleaning some cards. I have a stack of cards that I'm going to be cleaning today, just kind of putting these in inventory. We have 2 dirty ones right there and a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be cleaning. And then as you guys see in the back, we have a ton of graded as well as some raw. So super stoked to show that off. And so some of you might be wondering, well, how do I actually claim this stuff? So before I dox myself, let me just make sure that my website is up and running. So if you go into my bio in my link tree, you are going to go to the stores tab. So this is is what this looks like right here. So all you got to do is click or tap the shop icon on the link tree. And then from here, you pick ungraded or graded. I know it's a little saturated right now, but once it goes, this should load. And so all these cards that you see, so like, for example, this Dark Gyarados, right here with that really nice swirl, is also right here. So if you wanted this Gyarados at 1400, I don't even want to use berries. We'll have to come up with a Galaxia Gaming specific, maybe Glorps. Maybe I'll call them Glorps instead of berries. I think berries is kind of nerdy. So you can spend 1400 Glorps to get this bad boy. And so instead of going through the claim process, this is already in the store, you just go to the website, put in your cart, or if you want to put it in Afterpay, apparently that's an option now, you can do that. So I also have a stack, same thing goes for the raw stuff. So I have a ton of raw that is also on the store. So basically how this is going to work is I'm going to kind of just do some cleaning to start, and if anyone wants me to show off some cards or anything like that, that is in the store, both in the graded and raw category. I'd be more than happy. We also have a microscope, which not a lot of people use during claim sales. So for example, let's say you wanted to look at this Lieutenant Surge's Electabuzz a little closer. We have the microscope that we can kind of do some really nice zoom in shots. So you should see the little, if you're on desktop, you should see right there in the bottom right. And if you're on mobile, you can see it on the top there. So we have all sorts of angles for you guys to look at. And again, this stream for now until the next 48 hours, there is a coupon code, GGTCG-5 to get 5% off store-wide, and that is good for the first 48 hours. So everything was priced at market at least a day or two ago, so everything should be as close as I could possibly get it without going absolutely insane and re-pricing every day. Betty claims everything. All right, guys, that is good. GG's, have a good night. Betty claimed it all. She hit the Mega Million, and there we go. So yeah, we're just going to get right into it. So I think I had 2 of these listed as dirty. So we're going to start with these. So again, if anyone wants to see any cards that I have on the back or the raw stuff closer, I'd be more than happy to show you off, or show that off rather. But while we're doing that, I'm going to clean this very dirty Raikou. Raikou. Dude, the Breloom was wild, man. The Pop 13. But it's kind of funny, right? Because it was from Deoxys, and now when we see like a regular holo, we're kind of scoff at it now. But yeah, the Breloom was really cool. One of my personal favorites of Gen 3. Nice little swirl there on the Raikou. So we're gonna see if we can get some of this dirt off. We definitely got some up there, so. Yeah, but the Breloom was really cool. That was actually a local pickup too. Not in the graded form, but I was like, huh, that seems really clean for a card coming from Deoxys. Man, it's been a while since I've done these cleaning streams, huh, chat? So hopefully you guys are having a good Monday. Me, it was pretty much doing a lot of preparation for today, to be honest, because there's a lot. I really like how the new site turned out. And if you guys are going there, let me know how you like it, what you don't like. I think it's a lot better this time around than last time, only because one of the main problems that I had was anytime I would sell something at a show, I would have to turn off my online store entirely because the two didn't pair up or didn't match at all with the inventory. So I often had to keep my store off for a very long time until I updated all my inventory. Might be vending. Oh, dude, you definitely should, man. You definitely should. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a really fun time. It's a good time to kind of talk with local people who are super interested. I will say though that the kind of the itch, especially with you finding that Celebi Gold Star, it's kind of tough to kind of go on the hunt because I itch to go like walk around a show, and sometimes it's tough when you're trying to run your booth. You can't really see everything, but I think it's at the end of the day, it's a super good experience, and you'll definitely have to let me know how it goes. And I also think, too, I know I'm kind of yapping here, but I also think, especially in the Plattsburgh area, I don't know if you've been down in, like, the capital area or further down south in New York, but I feel like we kind of need a lot more folks up in, up where we're at to kind of come together a little bit more, because it seems very, very competitive at other places, and that competition, with everyone kind of banding together, which is totally healthy and totally normal. But it's always kind of nice to have people from your area kind of teaming together too and making deals and helping each other grow, which is super nice. Yeah, for those of you who are tuning in, right now I'm just kind of cleaning some cards that I have, prepping for future shows, but everything in the back as well as a bunch of raw stuff I have up for grabs, and if anyone wants me to go through that, which I'll probably go through anyway after I clean up this legendary dog, the dog needs a bath here, I would be more than happy to do so. But yeah, I got another show coming up in September, the beginning of September, so about 2 weeks. So this was kind of nice to kind of get things loosely kind of caught up. I had a lot of trades that I forgot to take some stuff out of inventory, so it was kind of nice to go through this process and be like, oh, I don't have that card anymore. Oh, I traded that card. Stuff like that, so. It seems like there's a lot of, I don't know if you guys have been seeing them on TikTok or YouTube, but it definitely seems like people cleaning has gone through the roof. And one thing that I would highly recommend, and I don't think I have one in arm's reach, but with the rise of card cleaning, I think there's also been a current rise of people altering their cards more. So if you are at a show, I highly recommend now, especially with like higher end vintage stuff, to bring a UV light, because some people are starting to cover up white dots and stuff like that. So, I mean, even with modern too. Tone, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. Are you using Kurt's card wax for your cleaning? I don't use anything else. I just use the old Hawk Tua method with my Breloom. Mr. Chungus himself is in the building. Prove that you don't sound like that. I know what you sound like. That's exactly what you sound like, I think. You dastardly dog. Listen, I got the Breloom, alright? I spit shined that thing. That's what gets the 10. I patent pending my Galaxia saliva to really get that hollow shine. But yeah, once I'm done with this Raikou, I'll go through all those kind of the cards that I have, again, active on the store right now. No need to claim, just whatever you like, you can go on and get. But honestly, this along with some other cards, I'm going to actually see, because I feel like those are either blemishes or sometimes like those little bits either get stuck in the cardstock. Like the one up here I was just kind of able to pick that off with my nail. Sometimes they just get stuck. But yeah, no Curdy boy. No Kurtz. But this one is pretty, I'm pretty sure on the back it was a little bit rough. There's really not much I'll be able to do in terms of making it like near mint or anything, but I just like to try to at least get the dirt off. But Betty, yeah, I saw that PSA 9 Charizard that you sent from. It's so funny that GameStop has stuff like that. But yeah, the price difference is pretty nuts from an 8 to a 9. So that's the front of that bad boy. Such a nice swirl on the top. But yeah, the back is a little rough for sure. A lot of whitening there. That again, you can't do anything about, chat. You cannot do anything about. Because if people tell you, oh, you can kind of fill those in, well, that is beyond alteration. And you're getting lied to if people are saying that to you. Like all this right here, like all that whitening there on the top edge, so if you can kind of see in the zoomed in screen. Like all that up there, nope. Nothing you can do about that. That's some stubborn stuff right there. I think it's probably as good as we're going to get on the edge. Now I was just trying to go in the middle here and trying to get some of like all this right here. If you guys can hopefully see it on stream, all in this white section. You can even see it on the Q-tip in the microscope. All that kind of gunk ring around the tip of the Q-tip. It's pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly. So let's see. So now we kind of do the shimmer test to make sure that there isn't any big dings. Because if there are any dings, this card probably be in the mod play category. In terms of like bumps or bends or creases, and so far it does not look like it. So I'll put that off to the side. Probably assess that bad boy as on the rougher side of LP. But not too bad. Not too bad at all. For this old Raikou. So put that off to the side, and let's write that as LP, and we'll do a showcase of some stuff here. If I have a pen. Of course I don't. So that is the Raikou. Let me see if I have a pen, chat. I have one somewhere, but I always keep moving them. Always moving my pens. There we go. This will write. There we go. Perfect. So that one is done. All right, so before I move on to the Lucario level X, let's do a quick dry run of the inventory. So if you guys are new here and are waiting for me to go through stuff, everything that you are about to see is currently live in my store, which is on my bio in the store link. So if you just go to my link tree and then just swipe over to the shop, just select either graded or raw. So we will first start off with the raw stuff. So if there's any cards that you want to see at a closer look, I have a microscope and all that fun stuff. And I can take them out of the sleeves and take a look at everything. So we'll start with this little pile here. So we got the Alakazams. And all these prices should be up to date. Hopefully it's not too much glare. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Got the Alakazam, base set 2. We got not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 Near Mint Ancient Muse. Wowzers. Wowzers, chat. Now on to the bees. Big Man Blastoise himself. Got the base set and the base set 2. Both as the non-error, unfortunately. It's always cool. One of these days I'll see the error in person. But today is not one of those days. Turn this down just a tad so you guys can see a little bit better here on some of those prices. That Dark Espeon with that nice little booty swirl. Shout out to the booty swirls. But I love this. Is probably one of my favorite dark variants of Pokemon. Is the Dark Espeon. Always looks super nice. Yeah, I picked up a lot of dark Pokemon from this one guy. He's frequented the streams before. Another booty swirl on that Eevee. So he had a lot of Team Rocket stuff, which was pretty dope. So super lucky to have had that opportunity to pick up a lot of that stuff. Nice little Giovanni's Gyarados there. And that nice Glaceon. You don't see these often. Those generic hollow Glaceon Leafeons. There is the one, I don't know if it's in this claims pile, but I know there are the Leafeon and Glaceons from Burger King, which I always thought were pretty cool. The good old days, chat. The good old days. Got some Japanese Jolteons. Got all sorts of Jolteons. Again, if anyone wants any closer looks on any of these raw stuff, please feel free to let me know in chat. Everything that you are seeing right now is available on the store. So you can just go and grab that. For example, this Mew EX. It's even under market at the moment. All this is available on the online store. So all I got to do is just find the right one and check out, and I'll get a notification, and it's pretty easy. Super easy, super fast, super efficient, which is what I like. So again, once we're done with the raw stuff, I will move on to the graded, and everything that you're seeing currently is near mint or better. Because online makes it a little bit tough to showcase what's light play or moderately played. Trev, what is going on, my friend? It has been a minute, my dude. Like this non-hollow Umbreon. Some Umbreon Gold Stars. Popular. Thank you, Trev. I appreciate that very much. And again, everything that you are seeing, guys, the discount code that you see if you're watching me on TikTok should be right above. Get that 5% off store-wide, and that is good for a full 48 hours. Hola, Trev. Hola. We're doing a showcase, a reboot, a revamp of the online store. So this is my... It is better than ever. So on to some of the random graded stuff before we go on to the Big 12 back there. We got some graded. Nice little no symbol there. If you guys have ever seen the no symbol, that was when Jungle forgot to put the Jungle stamp on, which is regarded as a pretty common error, but a fun error nonetheless. Scyther, probably my favorite card from Jungle. Got the Rosa. Picked up a ton of Jungle, both the no symbol and the standard. A lot of first ed stuff, which is pretty cool. And if I can find a spot to, we'll put it right here. Put it right here. And so all these cards you're about to see are going to be going to a show in Syracuse on the first Sunday of September. So super excited for that. That's going to be hopefully a pretty good show. So if you're in the Syracuse area, definitely make sure to swing by. It should be at the New York State Fairgrounds. That's going to be on Sunday, the first Sunday of September. So super excited for that. Nice little Charizard VMAX there. PSA 10. And the gold. Do you guys remember when they stopped grading those because they were either damaging I think it was either damaging the card or damaging the slab because they couldn't encapsulate it properly, so they basically halted the ability to grade that stuff. Onto some base set, the Mewtwo, PSA 9. And this was the Breloom that I posted about. So from the Breloom from Deoxys is PSA 10. And this is my chance, chat. Pop 13. Wow. So cool. Pop 13 Breloom from Deoxys, always cool. If anyone's trying to complete a master set of Deoxys, I know there's someone out there. It's trying to, most likely. Probably not in this stream, but they're definitely out there, those completionists. For me, I'm a big PSA 9 guy. I think for me, PSA 9s are just as desirable as PSA 10s. Because it's like, oh, the card is a PSA 10 because the centering was just better. Even though they're both fresh from a pack, I had no control over a 9 or a 10, so it's kind of like, I'll just take the 9 and be able to buy 3 of the same card. Like, for example, look at this, chat. This is just a good comparison of 9 price to a 10 price, right? So, got two Dark Machamps, right? One's a PSA 10, what is this one? And this is a PSA 9. PSA 9 is 190 Glorps. 10 is 995 Glorps. That's almost 8x. 7 or 8x. Quick math. So you could buy 7 of these for the cost of 1 of these. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So that's why I'm always a big fan of, for my own personal collection, 9s are fine. Because you get way more bang for your buck, and they're just as good, in my opinion. So don't sleep on those 9s, chat. Sometimes they're pretty good. Got the little birthday Pikachu. Beedrill V. I feel like I've had this forever. Both the Beedrills. The reverse 10 from Skyridge and the Beedrill V from Astral. This one I pulled myself back in the day when 151 first came out. Alakazam EX. And the old boy, the old Alakazam EX. Always a fan favorite, those gold bordered cards. Those from the XY era. And again, look at that Polyrath from Skyridge looking nice. PSA 9 there. And again, a bunch of Fossil, Jungle, Team Rocket stuff. Kind of nice. I'm a big vintage guy, so I like to always have some vintage floating around. I don't know if you guys are big into vintage. I think that's what I personally like grading for. Like, you know, this Kabutops came out in 2003, and it survived long enough to get a gem mint. So, or even this Jumpluff, right? 2003 still is a 9. Like, I think grading vintage, I really like, because it survived that 20, 25 years way back when grading didn't matter really in terms of the cost of some of these cards. So it's always kind of cool to encapsulate those, you know, because no one really cared about them way back in the day in terms of their overall condition. So then some of the Big 12. So these were up on the kind of the upper echelon. So this one came back not too long ago. This PSA 9 First Ed Rocket Scyther from Gym Heroes. So that's a pretty cool pickup. And as a reminder, for those of you who are new, welcome. This is a relaunch of the online store, so everything that you're seeing is up for grabs, including this Kingdra EX, which weirdly is now up there in price for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because of promos being hard to grade or what, but it is pretty insane. Or like this PSA 8 First Ed Snorlax, one of the toughest cards to get graded in Jungle. So that's between the Snorlax and the Vaporeon. And some cards that I still have, I actually don't have on my online store. I wait for in-person shows. So if you guys are in the area, definitely make sure to stop by. I normally operate out of New York, but, you know, maybe someday go down to Collecticon in Jersey, which would be pretty cool. That's definitely a bucket list of mine. But for now, it is pretty much a bunch of different shows in the New York State area. So if you want to check these cards out and more cards that I just don't have online, definitely attend more shows. Nice little Shadowless Venusaur. This was one of the ones that came out of my personal collection along with the Blastoise that I'm about to show, because I recently was lucky enough to upgrade. So I tend to, when I collect, I tend to upgrade. I find that more fulfilling, to be quite honest with you. So I picked up First Ed Shadowless Blastoise and First Ed Shadowless Venusaurs. Both, I think the Blastoise was a 4 and the Venusaur was a 5, or vice versa. So I upgraded those and replaced them with the First Eds. So super cool. The Latios. I don't know why people call them lovebirds, because I think they're siblings, which is kind of weird to call them lovebirds if they're siblings. So I don't really understand that, but you know, if keeping it in the same family tree is your thing, then well, there you go. Call them lovebirds. Nice little Espeon from Breakpoint. Card. These EXs from XY have seen a significant jump in price, I think, because of ZA coming out and just that vibe of the EXs. Thank you, my man. Latias. They're from Alabama. Yes, the Alabama Lovebirds. But yeah, let me know how you like the site. I tried making it a lot more user friendly, because now what's nice is that if I sell something in person, it actually will update the store automatically, versus before when I had just had my store in Squarespace, I had to shut down my store completely because the inventory didn't sync, which was really, really frustrating and really, really time consuming. And last but not least, the Dark Gyarados. Because again, I don't like how people say berries when doing claims, so we're gonna come up with our own for tonight. We're gonna call them glorps. So nice little fat swirl there in the bottom right. Look at that, chat. Gyarados, the fat swirl, first ed, Team Rocket, PSA 10. 1,400 glorps. Crazy. So yes, everything that you guys are seeing on stream, again, is available on my online store. So if you want to see that, the link is in my bio. If you just switch over to the shop. And it is as easy as that. Glorped out of my mind, dude, I know. So now we're just going to keep cleaning some cards, hanging out with chat, trying to get caught up with my backlog of stuff that I literally have just marked as dirt. So this Lucario had some dirt on it at some point, and it's been in my little too clean pile for quite some time. So we are finally getting around to cleaning these silly cards. So let's take a look at this Lucario. I think these, if you guys want some insider info, or like kind of what I like to look for, I'm always a fan of stuff that isn't being talked about often. And I think level X's and primes are not being talked about at the moment, so I think they are a pretty good card to at least look at, or sets to look at, in my honest opinion. So I'm just kind of taking a quick peek, trying to remember why I wrote dirt on it. Probably on the back, but we'll see. We shall see. So nothing on the bottom. I can't remember where I had. Maybe if I do like a shimmer test. Oh, I see some. I see some in the light there. Get some of that off. What's up, Mike? Just chilling, man. Chilling, showing off some cards from the online store. Super stoked to have the store finally updated and rebranded and rebooted, so it makes it 10 times easier. Nice little swirl there by the Lucario's tail. But yeah, so pretty much everything that you're seeing in the background, as well as some raw stuff from my own inventory, is finally updated. So if you want me to rummage through that, I don't know how long you've been on here for, so if you want me to go through the raw and graded stuff, I know you like to pick up some cards every now and again. I'm doing it again. It is rebranded, rebooted. So, and then if I have time, probably catch up from last Wednesday missing, because I had some work obligations for my real job that kind of took priority. That's why I had to cancel it. So I know I don't normally like to do it, but it was a pretty crazy week last week for work. So I had to kind of postpone that. But aside from that, man, just chilling. And hopefully you guys are having a good Monday. And for those of you who are lurking, I always appreciate that. I know it's kind of nice just to kind of have someone yap and not really interact. Sometimes I like that as well, to be honest with you. I thought cards were my real job. No, man. Nope, I have a true 9 to 5. All the content creation and cards, that is all just side passion, side project. Everything I do for the business and brand is all just on the side. So keeps me busy, keeps me very busy, but I kind of see it as, you know, I really wouldn't be doing much else. The illusion is dead. I know, man. The illusion of me just 24/7 making dreams. But no, I'd say like one thing I tell folks that like kind of ask me like if I would do this as a full-time job. I think for me it's like way too crazy and way too stressful to even think about that. But I definitely would love this to be my like when I retire job. Like just having a card store and like the hole in the wall. You know, the I want to be known as like the old guy who's like been at that spot for 20 years. You know, always yaps your ear off. Always has like a bunch of cards that he's just like waiting in. You know what I mean? Because I would get like for me retirement, like the idea of just like not working, it just sounds so awful. You know what I mean? So it's like as long as I have my retirement, kind of keeping the bills paid and being able to like do this on the side, and it's kind of like, you know, I'm just doing it for the fun of it and like having rent and utilities, that's what I really like to do. But that's a much further down the line. And I got some cool stuff in the works coming up soon. There's one thing that I'm super stoked to show you guys very soon. And for those of you who already know, keep those lips sealed. But nice little clean Lucario here. Just want to make sure that I got all the dirt off. So I think this one was assessed as light play if I remember correctly. And it was. As a LP Lucario. Pretty good LP though. But an LP nonetheless. Oh, in due time, my friend. In due time. I am, it is honestly, to be honest with you, it has been very hard not to talk about. But I want it to be a really good reveal. And I'm super stoked. And it is coming sooner. It's coming sooner rather than later. I'll say that much. It's coming sooner rather than later. But very excited. But yeah, if anyone wants me to, again, I have all this inventory. If anyone wants me to go through it real quick, I can. This stream is celebrating the rebrand or the reboot of the online store. So if you want to take advantage, everything is currently priced at or below market. I have some cards that are below market. I also have a 5% off coupon code, which is right above if you're watching me on Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok up there. You just use that coupon code at checkout to get 5% off, and that is good for a full 48 hours. The idea of not working sounds literally miserable. What would you do? Just sit down and drink water all day? That's what I'm saying. Like, I just think, like, I think us as people need purpose. You know what I mean? Like, we need purpose. We need something to make our, like, fulfill our kind of human, like, what we're meant to do. You know, we're meant to create. We're meant to do things. We're meant to try to strive to do our best. And I just can't, I don't know, I just couldn't imagine just kind of sitting there not doing anything. You know what I mean? It just makes zero sense to me. Got a lot of electric types. We had the Raikou, now we're doing Lieutenant Surge's Electabuzz. So some of these I cannot remember if I've cleaned, but it's kind of nice to go through and not, because all of what you're seeing, I do all these for all the other cards that you've seen on stream so far. So it's kind of nice just to kind of double check, make sure that everything is good. And all the raw stuff and even some of the graded stuff that I have graded myself have all gone through this exact same process. So I wouldn't do it on cards that I wouldn't do for my own cards, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah. It's a little dirty on that top part. It's crazy how much dirt really pops up in the yellow border here. Gonna put that to the side so we can kind of see a little bit better here. And the other thing I saw too is I have to mess with it a little bit, but I've been seeing people use more of the negative lighting on these microscopes that I find very interesting. Oh yeah, they got some dirt off that. Look at that, chat. I don't know if I should have highlighted that. It was near the lightning energy. That came right off. Some more dirt down here. Any more there, chat? I don't think so. A little bit of something there, though. I'll have to look at that. I think that's a little bit of a bend there. We'll have to take a look. A little like eye level. We'll have to take a look at that. And that's what's nice about these microscopes. Kind of doing this cleaning process with a microscope is you can kind of see. Sometimes you see things just in a different perspective or different light that you otherwise may have not seen. So it's kind of nice in that regard. Clean the Electabuzz's belly here. But yeah, looks good. Now let's take a look at, I think it was on that right side somewhere. We'll take a look here. Let's see. Yep, there's a little bit, very, very minor, but it'll at least put it in light play. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh, actually, now that I know where it is, I'll probably highlight it on camera here. So let me see. So something like that, I might even try to press out. That might be a pretty easy press out. So it's going to be right about there. That's probably the best way I can put it. So right in that shadowed area, right here, right where the tip of my Q-tip is, a little, very, very minor crease, but something like that, I'm probably gonna take the risk and try to press that out because it's so small. It's the risk is so low. So something like that, because I actually had to fix my humidor. My humidor's battery is all out of whack and was not telling me how much my humidity was, so I had to completely rebuild it. I had to like reseal some of it, and oh, it was awful. I don't even know how much. So this is what the front looks like, chat. I don't really know how much I'll even be able to do with this bad boy because the back is pretty rough. So I think even if I try to repair it, sometimes that's kind of the issue. Is even like the back. The back alone, we're kind of in that mod play range. So it's kind of like probably even heavy play. But let's see. These lights are starting to, there we go. Starting to pop out on me. Yeah, this one I probably won't even mess around with too much, to be honest with you. So we got that over there. And then I had to... One thing I actually might test out, chat. I have a sneaking suspicion here. Is that TikTok, as of recently in July, has made a lot of like multi-streaming and streaming modifications to where I have a test that I'm probably going to run at 9 o'clock, which is about 4 minutes. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you're going to have to unfortunately be my test subjects, because I have a feeling that there's some tomfoolery going on. Because for whatever reason, TikTok has been saying that, like, if I don't have like 50% of like gaming content or like game-related content streamed, then they keep revoking my multi-stream. And I feel like that is starting to mess around with my discoverability, which is kind of frustrating, but we're gonna do a little test here soon. Well, mod play Lieutenant Surge Electabuzz. Well, let's see. Actually, there was one spot. Yeah, it's probably MP. MP to HP. Probably HP. Probably get a 4. So that one I'd probably write as HP. Let's see. I need a new sleeve. There we go. If I can find one. Alright, chat. So I'm going to... So for those of you who are watching me on YouTube, I'm going to try something. So what I'm going to try is I'm actually going to switch over to my phone and try to stream over there. There's a test that I want to run because I have a sneaking suspicion of something going on, and we're going to just give it a shot. Just more of a humor thing than anything. But the stream's not ending. I'm just going to be shifting up the POV, I guess, just over on TikTok, and then once that's done, we'll change it up a little bit. So let's see. I have a little trash pile going on here. It's a nice little HP Lieutenant Surge Electabuzz there. So we're getting there. We're getting some cleaning out of the way, which is always kind of nice, to be honest. All right, so I will be right back, chat. So for those of you who are watching me on YouTube, I'm going to be trying to stream over on TikTok exclusively just for a little bit. There's some things I want to kind of test out. So if you want to keep watching me, I will be over on TikTok. My link is in the bio over there. So for TikTok, I will be right back.